All right, so we're going to get started today, and you guys have been creating and looking for shapes and faces and flexing your creative muscles all week. And so today we're going to keep doing with that. However, I'm going to give you guys another challenge. And so for today, we're going to again kind of confine to certain shapes, and I'm going to give you guys a new little challenge. Think about some of your favorite desserts and take that and use that to kind of come up with your own little characters. So for this, I'm going to do something kind of like this. So maybe this would be like a pie or a piece of cake. All right, another one. Let's see. I'm going to do it down here. I can do like this scoop of ice cream that has dropped off your ice cream cone and hit the ground. Yes, very sad. So we do it round at the top, and I'm going to add just a little bit of clay around the edges. And that'll kind of be where it like hits the ground and kind of like smashes, melts a little bit. And I'll do something like that. Now this is just the basic shape, and I'll kind of go into it a little bit more when we actually create this character. And for the last one, I'm actually going to do a classic like popsicle. So, you get some more clay for this. Have kind of a rounded top. Kind of have it squared off a little bit at the bottom. A couple of those indentations that they have. And actually, I'm going to take one of these. I actually have some popsicle sticks. It doesn't need to be that long, so I'll kind of break this off. But we can incorporate something like this into a piece. So here you have a few desserts. Now if I take a look at these, with this piece of pie, there's a lot of different things you can do. I could kind of make a face here. You can also kind of go with like a crocodile type of thing and have this kind of open up to be a mouth. You can look at it this way and create a face. I don't know if I want to do two eyes, or you could do like a cyclops and have like a huge underbite. With this one, maybe like some alien creatures like a big cyclops just kind of looking around. Almost looks almost like a baby jellyfish though also, so I'm not sure about that one. This one you can kind of do the same thing. Start kind of seeing if you see anything. Things might kind of look a little strange in certain directions, but just kind of play around with it. I'm going to start with this one though, because actually the other thing is, because of the fact that we have this popsicle stick here, I can actually kind of incorporate it. And what if I made that like the tongue coming out and made a mouth? which would be almost like kind of like a snake. So having eyes, I'm going to use my thumbs just to kind of press in to kind of make some eyeballs here, or eye areas. And I'm actually going to grab some clay to build out these brows, because if you actually look at a snake, the top of the head is actually more triangular. So if I build these out and have them coming in a little bit more, it'll look a lot more like what I'm trying to go for. So just adding little worms of clay to the outside of this. Like that. And then kind of have it come in a little bit, kind of disrupt the shape a little bit, have it come in a little bit more for here, and build out underneath the eye. I'm going to add in some cheeks, so another worm of clay, just a little bit bigger, and same thing on the other side. Right, and there you go. And then what I'll do is come in here and just go swoop, swoop, and draw in this little line for the mouth. Now with this, I can kind of go a little bit deeper, kind of have the mouth stick out just a little bit on this side. Do the same thing over here. And then I'm actually going to square up, add a little bit more clay to this nose or snout area. Wait, this is a little bit stronger, not as rounded as it was. And then just kind of dig in on the sides to kind of give a little bit of the nostril area. And now this, depending on, you know what else, we're going to go ahead, just thought about this, is to add in, we're going to do the same thing we did the other day with that ogre and kind of press underneath the lip. And I'm going to put a couple of fangs in here. But what I was going to say is that depending on, you know, this is still at a very early stage, the look of it could actually go in a few different directions. The tongue, obviously, if I was designing this, I would remove, I'm using it so that, you know, it gave me the idea, but I would remove that and do an actual tongue out of clay that would kind of, you know, be more like a snake that would be like split at the end. But this is still in the early stages, and actually, you know, with the look of how this nose is and just the limited amount that's there, it could also work if you wanted to turn this into like a rat. It would work as well. But that's a start for this guy. Now, coming over to here, let's continue on with these kind of drips. I need to make them not so symmetrical and a little bit more weird as they're melting everywhere. Yeah, because these first ones that I added were almost like I was adding fin legs or fins or something. So I need to mess around with this. And then, actually, instead of doing a Cyclops, I'm going to switch the camera and lower it just a little bit so we can get a better view of this. So right here, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make kind of, I'm thinking like a little skull in this ice cream. So maybe there was something hidden inside. Maybe you can use your imagination for what else it could be, but we're just going to, I'm going to go with some big eyes so it's a little bit more cartoony. And maybe like a cute skull, but still, we're going to do that. And I'm going to add just a little bit of clay here for this for the nose bridge. Add a worm of clay over here to symbolize or establish the cheekbone, and do the same thing on this side. And so what you got there is we're going to come in and kind of shape that like a skull is. And now this would probably end up being like a skull that, or a candy skull that was in the ice cream. Could be a skull that was in the ice cream, and kind of is just, and then the ice cream is just kind of all melting around it. Or it could have been a special holiday ice cream that the scooper was shaped like a skull. Kind of try to dig in a few shapes here for the teeth. And actually, I'm going to redo those anyway because I need to add a little bit more clay here, because the mouth is really flat and your mouth is actually very curved, so it should have this shape to it. So I'm going to press in on the inside, add a little clay to the front to round it out. And then kind of do a couple little indentations for the nose. And a couple indentations for the teeth. And you can always add in a little bit of clay to kind of bring those teeth out a little bit. That first spot kind of made the indentation, kind of put a hole for me to put the teeth in, and kind of established it wouldn't be the gum line, but basically where the gum line would be, where the skull actually holds on to the teeth. And then you kind of put a little bit of clay to shape the teeth in there. And then just kind of keep going around here and kind of make it soft and kind of liquidy and flowy. And so, there you have something. And now with this one, I was actually thinking what I'm going to do is share with you guys something else that is great to do. And that is, you can always, like we did here with the popsicle stick, of incorporating something. If you have any interesting objects or things to add to your sculpture, you can always implant them in there. So for this, let's say you're doing something fun with the kids, or you're trying to make something more cartoony or fun. You can always do something like this using, like, I have here a couple of plastic balls. You can use marbles or wooden beads. And if you just kind of press them in, and then here I would go with that crocodile-esque type of thing. And just kind of draw a line in here for that mouth. And you have a fun little character. Or what else is take these out, and I actually have some of these. These are basically like those fun little googly eyes, and you can place them in there. And then we'll go in, and I'm going to, I don't know if I want to go that far back, but we're going to deepen this mouth. And work on the other side to kind of go all the way through. And if I can cut, you can cut through. And what we're going to do is lift this up and kind of open this mouth. So take this, kind of open it up a little bit, give it a little character, and then grab a little worm of clay, flatten it out a little bit, and then just kind of make a little tongue. Come in here also and do press up for a couple of nostrils. And there you have a new character. So with these guys, again, it's flexing your creative muscles and your imagination to think outside the box and come up with new characters. And these can be, like I was saying before, these can be fun exercises just to kind of relax or to kind of help dig into yourself, to work through some emotions. These can be fun exercises that you just play with your kid, whether you're using clay or Play-Doh or Super Sculpt-D. Or these could also be, this could be your sketchbook of ideas, to where you come up with something like this and you're like, I like this design, or I like certain aspects of this design, and I kind of want to go a little bit bigger and, you know, search through it a little bit more. Or there's certain things I like and certain things I don't, therefore I'm going to keep what I like and resculpt and rework the things that aren't quite working and go back into it. Or you can finish this up and actually detail the whole thing out. But this is a starting point in just getting you out of that creative block and kind of getting you started for everybody who believes that they're not creative. So have fun with these. And this can also, again, before we did, you know, objects and smiley faces and things like that, this could be desserts, this could be any kind of foods. It just gives you something else to kind of think about and push yourself to imagine. So have fun with these.